Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend Roots. Roots, it's past my bedtime, man.
I know actually is past my bedtime lately. I've been going to bed early and waking up early for work, and so like I don't feel tired because I don't work tomorrow. So, but I should. I don't know why I don't. Maybe because we're doing a show and I'm psyched, and I just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I got a new desk, and I feel like I have space for my legs, and it's a good night.
You're just going to stay up all night just so you can be comfortable in your chair.
I am. I'm just gonna chill right here and just keep moving my legs back and forth. Uh,
Last time we did one of these shows, Roots, one of these Friday night Strangers in the Night, we were covering the newly released Assassin's Creed Nexus.
Oh God, dude, that's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, we did Assassin's Creed Nexus, and then we pivoted off. I think we were gonna like real time review something, and we couldn't get it to work. So then we switched off to Mother Gunship Forge at the last minute, and Eric
Mm.
and I just went on and played a round of that.
I remember crashing too. Yeah, it's ironic because Radio Runt was saying um, one of the games we're talking about is his potential game of the year for
Really?
for 2024. And I said, well, at least for me so far, I said it was okay, just okay, which is not true because Nexus to me was just okay. But the game that we're going to talk about is not just okay. I think it's better than okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
But to each their own. But I'm not lying, man. When we started doing these Strangers in the Night, it was a regular thing for me to be awake at this point. Like I was up late every night, sleeping late every day. I don't do that shit anymore. Like I am tired. I'm legit tired because normally I'll crash out at like 9 o'clock now, and I'll wake up at like 4 or 5 and get to work.
uh,
Um,
so
so
what
now
I'm
it's like the
oh,
middle of the night for me.
so what I'm hearing is good news for East Coasters in the future and West Coasters, and maybe not for EU potentially. Because I kind of had, if it wasn't like if I would have had more time, if I miscalculated with the desk, which I say I put together. D actually put together, and I just sat here and talked to her because she's good at that kind of stuff. Um, but I forgot what I was gonna say now. Yeah, no, yeah,
You're talking
damn it.
about the time. The you had thought
Oh
you had
yeah,
X amount of time.
yeah. I just ran out of time, and yeah, so I ran out of time. I don't even know why I
It's
was
true.
saying that.
No, we could. I think what you're saying is that potentially in the future we could start doing these
Oh yeah,
earlier on
start it
Friday.
earlier. Yeah, absolutely. Because I would have rather started like maybe 6 or 7 my time, 8, something around there, something to get us bed, get to bed at a decent time, and you know.
See, I would be all for that. But the truth of the matter is that if we weren't going on late, then I would not have had time to play these games.
Mm,
Like, um, it's funny, we don't really have a good day to do a second show anymore, other than like Saturday. I feel like we could do one pretty easily on
back to back.
Saturday, but it would put us back to back, right? And that just doesn't work. We've tried that before, and what ends up happening is people don't watch the first show because by the time they come around, there's already a new episode on. So, so that leaves us doing shows on Friday, and I really don't have time to play games until like Friday after I get my work
Mm,
done. So I think at least for the time being, we'll probably stay on Friday night. We may be able to push it up a little earlier, and get it on an hour or so earlier than we come on the night. Um, but we didn't even get to do 3 games this week just because I didn't have time to play 3 games.
yeah, I don't even know what the third game would be. Like the one game we were gonna choose didn't even come out, so got delayed.
That's right. Not surprisingly, Overdark got delayed. But I did talk to a representative of the studio and basically told me they found some small issues that they have to iron out before they launch, and they don't want to launch an imperfect game. So they're going to take their time. It shouldn't take very long, and we should have keys soon. But I said, I hope you take all the time you need because we'd rather wait for the game than wait for the patch.
Right. I'm over waiting for the patch. On and flat games, VR, I don't care. Just release a good game, and people will appreciate it and actually buy the game more. So
A game that launches late eventually launches. A game that launches early is, launches too early is bad forever, right? Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Well, people get a first impression in their mind. They may not come back. After it's fixed, they may have and return it. So
Yeah, well, that's a big problem these days. Bluebell coming through with the $9.99 US donation. So glad to have you guys back listening, but won't be chatting. Love you guys. We love you, Bluebell. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna see Bluebell. I think in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
talking about when you're going to the East Coast? You're gonna see a
That's
lot,
right.
man. Dude, that's gonna be a fucking party. Getting with all the
Yeah.
game cats. I don't know. You've never met Brian in person, have you?
No, I've never met you in person, dude. We've been
Ah.
doing this shit for 6 years now, almost to the day. I think our 6 year anniversary, or maybe it's 5 year anniversary.
Well, we
Um,
needed this summer. Yeah, and that's crazy. 6 years. When I guess they do that thing in Denver, right? For Alex and they're doing the
oh,
e-sport.
yeah,
You and
that's
Michelle
true.
need to actually come out. You can stay here, and we'll have moon rocks in Denver. Actually, Colorado Springs, but it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
I think you just talked me into it.
Be amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time, man. We're gonna get you out at some of these trade shows, man. Like, I know it's expensive, the travel, but I gotta say, we're going to PAX in a couple of weeks to meet with the Game Cats, and 90% of it is on their dime. Like, we did a fundraiser, and everybody chipped in. We had over 100 people donate,
That's so
and
crazy. That's so awesome.
most of it's paid for.
See,
And
I'd be down for something like that. My thing is like I know a lot of people's jobs. You get time off. You get
that's true.
vacation
That's
time.
true.
Like I don't get any of that. If I don't work, I lose money, and then I got to spend money on top of it, and then it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It just doesn't sound like a good idea. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's understandable for sure. Anyway, I would like to say we have a lot to talk about. We don't have a lot to talk about. We have a couple games to talk about. This is probably going to be a shorter than usual show, but that's okay. It's past bedtime. We can do
yeah,
a shorter than usual show. I didn't want to walk away from it, Roots. Like we said, we were going to come on and do a show this week, and I didn't want to walk away from it. I know certain people were looking forward to it, so here we are.
yeah, and I mean we're usually so consistent. The last several months was completely out of our control. Now it's not. And so now we'll come back. We'll get back to the weekly grind, right? Twice a week.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what? I'm not sorry about is you know finding time to play VR because I have needed to make time for gaming for some time now. So I had a good time today, um, and I only wish that there was more of it so that I could play even more before we came live. But that's life, man. I'm looking forward to next week's show already. I think we're gonna do AKR next week, right? We were talking about doing it this week, but we discussed it, and the way these Jeff Minner games work is you don't really appreciate them until you get 10 to 15 levels in, and it takes some practice to get that good at it. Uh, it's only when you start to get 25% through the game that he really starts throwing the heavy visuals at you and all the sound effects.
Right.
Um, so we didn't want to come in here after playing that game for an hour and tell people that it's a boring arcade game when you know that that's not the truth. You just got to give it some time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get to work tomorrow practicing on it, and then by the time next Friday rolls around, we should have a pretty good impression of how Aka R actually is.
Yeah, you're gonna do that completely sober. Gonna do it completely sober.
100%, 100% sober.
100%.
Anyway, let's do roll call. See who's in chat. Tatum's here. Says Aka R looks crazy in the PSVR 2, even for old school. You gotta love those Jeff Minter games, man. On that OLED screen, 120 hertz. You already know what's up.
Yeah, that type of game's amazing, even without a headset. And then you put it in a headset, and it's phenomenal.
Word. Bluebell's here. We already said hello to Bluebell. Ryan Brannon is here. Brandon VR, what up? Boognish66. Bluebell says, I heard my name. I can't wait to meet you and Michelle in person at PAX East, along with all the Gamecats. Dude, I think we're going to have like 150 people showing up to this thing.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me, though. Like, I can't think of a more loyal audience, or I guess people, than the Gamecats, and ours is second. But it's a far, 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 far second. But, we've just started 6 years ago.
That's right. Gamecat Army. It's not just a term. That's literal.
Yep.
The Gamecat Cowboy Dan is here. G'day, Dan. Samson's here. The real Samson 143 VR is in the house.
Guess he's going to PAX. He's excited.
Hell yeah. Assassin 32 VR. What up? What's up, Mal? What's up, Techno Glitch? Yo. Philo Zix is here. Not sure Brondo is here. The Lord, Mr. Lord Beavis is here. Salvador is here. Radio Runt, Idaho is in the house.
Game of the year.
Game of the year. That's what, Glass Breakers or
Glass Breakers?
Demio Battles. Demio Battles.
Demio Battles. He loves Demio Battles, man. That is absolutely not just okay. That is like top notch to him. It's really good, actually.
Alakazam says, I love night shift. I sleep better during the day. I do too. The problem is I can't anymore. Got too many people.
No, I don't sleep during the day well at all. Man, your house has to be so like normal compared to before, right? Like they had to, at some point, your kids had to somewhat try to be quiet. Dad's sleeping. None of that anymore.
Well, they're all getting big now, so they just kind of stay off and do their own thing. They all have gaming computers now, and they all kind of stick to their little area doing their thing with their friends. So they actually stay up later than I do now. Like they're all awake in there right now. They'll be awake when I go to bed here in a little while.
Is anybody playing Helldivers 2?
No, but I saw it. I saw it on sale today for like $30 somewhere.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah. No, I don't know what they're all playing. I know my youngest is playing the Stanley Parable. He just picked it up today.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I'll get that. It's got a VR mod. We'll check it out sometime.
For real. Yeah, it's kind of a win-win, right?
Yeah, for real. Who else is here? Skate Portal's here. What up? Good to see you. Evan Yabu. Escape Portal. Did you see Francis get his shit chilled earlier tonight? The former UFC champion of the world was in a boxing match earlier tonight with Anthony Joshua.
Ooh.
And he got fucking flatlined, like in the second round, just knocked stone cold out. It was nasty.
Wow. Do you think the Jake Paul and Tyson fight is actually going to be like a real legit fight, or do you think it's kind of like, because I mean, there's everything's so fucking fake these days. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's real or not. I want it to be real, and I want Tyson to go in there and just beat his face.
That would be great, but he's like almost 60 years old now.
I know, but that's why it would be so cool, dude. Watch him, then he'll take a bite out of Jake's ear and shit. That would be cool.
He might do it. You never know. when Mike has multiple personalities, and when he switches on that fucking cool God of War, persona, like he's ready to fight to the death. And Jake Paul should be careful. He might get what he wishes for here.
Yeah. Or he might knock out the 60-year-old man. And then we'll be like,
That's
oh, well, we knew that
very
was coming.
possible. Very possible. Gabriel 004 is here. What's up, Gabriel? Um, who else? Black Market Honey's here. Q Creator was here. Silver Nexus was here. And James was here.
You see, Spry was here as well. He said he had to, he can't stay up this late tonight, but he'll be watching it tomorrow.
Of course he can. I mean, tomorrow's his birthday.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Spry guy.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, Spry.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, I missed your other one, so.
Anyway, if I missed you, I apologize. Thanks everyone for showing up. It's been a while since we did one of those. Thanks for remembering us. We're back for real this time. Anyway, let's talk a little VR, and let's start off by talking about the Pirate Queen. This is a title that we've known about for some time. They've been promoting this one for a long time. This title was executive produced and stars Lucy Liu. And from the moment that I saw this, and then over time as I saw it winning all of these awards through all of these different film festivals, I assumed that this would just be a interactive, story-driven experience. But in their later promotion, I noticed that from time to time they were referring to this as a game, and I thought that was a bit of hyperbole. I didn't think that they actually meant it. I didn't think this would actually be a game. But what I was surprised to find out when I got in and started making my way through it is that if we're going to be technical about it, this is a game. I mean, there are puzzles here. There are fail state, like you can die in it. So that was kind of the biggest surprise for me coming into it, Ruuts, was that this isn't just a story-driven experience. This is actually a game.
But it can be a story-driven experience if you want it to be, right? It has that option, which I didn't take.
Yeah, I didn't take it either. It makes me wonder because there are different
kinds. It would be.
Well, here's the thing, and I didn't want to really get down to the bottom line on this one so quickly, but there's different types of gameplay elements to it. There's one which is the puzzle room element, which a few times as you play through the campaign, it's about a 2-hour campaign, a little less actually. A lot of people would probably make it through in 90 minutes. As you make your way through it, there's a few cases where you find yourself in kind of an escape room style puzzle. And for what it's worth, I really enjoyed those sections of the game. It was probably my favorite part of it. But that isn't the only gameplay elements that they have going on here. There's mazes, there's a ton of climbing, there's some kind of rowboat sections, and that sort of thing. It was a lot of the time, a lot of the gameplay time that it took to go through it was climbing, was rowing boats, was making your way through mazes that weren't very difficult to find your way through. So what I'm kind of worried about, Ruuts, here, I enjoyed the puzzles. I didn't so much enjoy all the climbing and all this other stuff that they put in there. I kind of felt like that was buffer, like they were trying to extend it out by adding in these sequences where basically you're walking or climbing and nothing really much is happening other than that. So what I'm afraid, Ruuts, is if you were to take the story mode instead of the game mode, I'm afraid it would just take those puzzles out, but still leave in all the crap that I didn't really care for. Like
the good part, they would take out the good part. Absolutely,
right.
They would leave in that other stuff. Because otherwise, they would be really, really short. Well, I don't know how short. I mean, the story is what it is, right? And that's what's kind of cool about it is it's a true story. That's what I kind of found intriguing about it. But I kind of thought found myself thinking the same thing. Like if I would have picked the story, I wasn't thinking, I guess, about the stuff that you didn't like, but I just thought, man, this thing would be fairly short, right? Because I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours on average for most people to complete it, which is fine. Like it's the whole time you're doing everything, you're there's a story being told, so it's not like for an hour and a half to 2 hours you're just rowing a boat. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just there is a lot of that type of stuff. But I did find the puzzles pretty cool, actually. The ones
Yeah,
I did anyway.
the puzzles were the best part of the gameplay. Obviously, the strength of the game was the storytelling. Um, it is a good, interesting story with a cool ending. Um, and, you know, well, I mean, there were high points and low points. Obviously, the high point, Lucy Liu, was, 90% of the voice in the game was done by her. And it kind of had this old school feel to it, like an old, like PlayStation 1 style game where you'll find items laying around in the area, and everything you pick up, she has a line for. So she'll tell you what this is. It's kind of like reminded me of like on an old Resident Evil game where you would look at a picture and it would describe what you see in the picture. Um, it was really kind of an old school approach to like a puzzle game, which I really appreciated. Um, there were some weaknesses to it, of course, and I don't know how much of this has to do with maybe the dev team not being super experienced with VR, or maybe they were optimizing for Quest. But I didn't know they had so many frosted glass windows in ancient China, dude. Like you don't,
Everywhere.
they're everywhere. So there are no NPCs in this game. Anytime you interact with another character, it's through a frosted glass window, and all you can see is a silhouette. Now, for what it's worth, it was a really cool effect. It looked cool. The characters were gesturing with their hands, and it was really animated well. But I found it kind of weird that we couldn't really ever talk to anyone face to face ever once.
Well, what's weird is like the first time you think, okay, like I don't know why this person's behind there. There's got to be a reason, right? It's like unique. This is a one-time deal. No, it's
No.
everybody. It's every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. My biggest thing, and I wanted to start with this, but I kind of held myself back. Like, the fuck is going on with the movement in this game, dude? Like,
Uh,
I put it on a. I said, oh, good. There's smooth turn. So I get on smooth turn, and it's like the slowest smooth turn, and I said, I can't do this. So I go back to the snap turn, and it's the flashy, fucking annoying snap.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I went back and forth like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, well, I can't do this snap turn this way. I'll just go really slow. And then I'd be going for like 5 minutes. I can't go this slow. I have to put up with the snap turn. So hopefully they just take the flashing out of the snap turn and it would be okay. I just don't understand. Is that something that they've found is less likely to make people sick or something? Because I don't get it, man. It's that's the one biggest gripe I had with this thing is like I wanted to sprint, I wanted to turn like a normal fucking person. Um, Other than that, the controlling was amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, kudos to the dev team for trying to give people options, but it wasn't very good. So the game defaults to teleport with blink turning, and you can go into the options and set it to smooth locomotion with smooth turning, but like Root said, the walking slow. There isn't a run function. You just have to walk, and if there is a run function, it isn't much. You don't really notice much of a difference. And the smooth turning is just so slow that you can't use it. Like you actually choose blink turning because the smooth turning is so slow.
That's crazy.
Um, there's a seated mode that if you turn it on, it sets you up too high to reach anything. So like, I
In that
played
drawer,
seated.
right?
Yeah,
I
yeah. So
had
I
to go
played.
out.
I played seated in standing mode for pretty much the whole game.
I say I went to get in that drawer and I'm like, I can't reach this. So I switched it to standing mode so I could get it. And I grabbed it and I thought, okay, good. So I switched it back and it made me drop it. And then I couldn't
Yeah.
reach. Like, fuck, man. Uh, but yeah, that was pretty funny.
So if the developers see this, um, put in a slider to turn up the speed on the smooth turning. Um, do just a normal snap turn without the blink. People don't need that blink on there. And for the seated mode, anytime you do a seated mode, you need to implement a crouch button so people can press the right stick in or the left stick and crouch so that they can reach things. Um, if you're too tall, it's fine when you have an in-game crouch, or you could use
Magnet
kind
hands.
of like yeah, magnet hands, force grab.
Hmm.
Either or works, but if you're going to have a seated mode, you have to have those sorts of options to allow people to reach things. Um, Again, we're probably talking about a dev team that hasn't done much VR before and probably didn't do a lot of playtesting outside of film festivals. Um,
But those are easy fixes. And so I
yeah,
would suggest if you can, if, like you said, if they're out there and they hear this, just implement those. Because those are just quality of life. Well, not, I can't say quality of life because, like you said, that snap turn is unusable.
yeah.
But you end up having to use it because the turn is so slow. So
So Assassin 32 VR says that he actually playtested it and got extremely frustrated with it for these reasons. So there you go.
yeah, well, and it's a testament to how good the story is, and I mean, I wanted to keep going, you know.
Yeah,
So I think the
yeah, good.
storytelling is very good, and the acting is really good, obviously. So, and
Yeah.
I was telling you this, I saw people griping about how it looked. I didn't think it looked bad. I thought it looked good. I thought the
Oh
water looked
no.
good, and like they're
Yeah.
really, I just didn't think any of the. Expected to go in there and have this thing look like crap, and I thought, wow, this actually looks pretty good.
No, it looked really good. I mean, it wasn't like Hubris or Rhythm of the Universe or anything, but it's a good looking game. Like the art direction in it's like really top notch. It has that old Asian, kind of vibe to it, and it's pretty. There's lots of vistas for you to look out across, and it really has a good look to it. Um, and the sound was great too. Like the sound was amazing. The music was good. The voice acting was good. Directional audio worked really well. Um, all of that stuff was great. And despite all the kind of nitpicks that we've put forth here and negatives, like you said, my overall experience was good in it. I mean, it took me nearly 2 hours to play through it, and I played all the way through it in one sitting. I enjoyed it. My only question with it is would it have been a better 1 hour experience than a 2 hour game? Um, and it's hard to say because, like I said before, the puzzling elements are really good. I wish there was more of that. But the stuff like you're looking at here, where you're walking down a path and having to time these slow moving bags, it's basically just a bunch of these little sections for you to walk through. You can't really fall down unless the bag hits you. Um, it's just a way. It seemed to me like a time burner, like a way for them to put a little more interactivity in it, to stretch out the time and give people something to play. And what they probably didn't realize is that um, VR enthusiasts were done playing these types of games 3 years ago. Like people don't want to climb anymore and walk down narrow paths. Like it's just. Um, I think if these sections weren't in the game, that I would have taken my time more and really uh, taken in the environments and kind of appreciated it more. But after I got through like 4 or 5 chapters, I found myself just kind of sprinting as fast as I could through these areas just to get
Yeah,
through
sprinting.
them. Yeah, sprinting very slowly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well,
yeah, I
that's
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's I think $17. Um, I would probably suggest people pick it up on Quest with the 25% off. Because I think it is good, and I think if you can get it for 10 or $12, it's worth your 2 hours. It's worth your money. Um, but just be aware what you're getting yourself into here. There's out of the 2 hours that's in the game, you might get an hour and 15 minutes of good stuff, and then there's probably a solid half hour of just bullshit you got to wade through.
yeah. Well, at least there's something's going on. They're telling things are happening, and
It's true.
in the story, and so I think that's the main thing. It's like it. Then people say $17 for a couple hours. Well, what are you going to pay to go to the movies?
Right.
This is a legit, true story with an amazing cast and very well acted, and I thought it was kind of intriguing. What I did get to play through, I want to know more. I want to know, do they succeed? This isn't a woman's world, and so I thought that was kind of cool too. Is like it even just as she was climbing, she's talking about how like if she had been forced to, if her feet had been bound, it would have been a different experience climbing up the rope ladder, and it just made you think of what Chinese women would have gone through back then, or a lot of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I
No, the
just,
stories are great,
yeah,
and
it was
and
good.
for what it's worth, the ending was really cool. Like the way the story ended, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but it was kind of cool how they went about the end of the game. Like there like the next to last level was pretty much entirely a storytelling level, and and it was cool. Kind of the twist of the story.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's good, above average. Despite its flaws, I did find it worth my time. And you're right, $17 isn't a lot of money. You go to McDonald's and get a meal, you're gonna pay $10. So
Yeah, these days,
yeah,
shit, I don't even know. You here to pay $20 probably,
yeah,
especially
for
if you're in
real.
California, because they're crazy.
That's the way it was in Vegas, man. You go to friggin' Taco Bell or something, Popeye's chicken, spend like $18 for to eat, which is just nuts.
It's about to get crazier for California because they're raising their minimum wage to $20 an hour for fast food. So the restaurants are like, "Hey, man, guess what your burger is going to cost?" I can't wait to see how this experiment goes. It's very, very entertaining from Colorado. Sorry, Californians, but
Philozix in the chat says, "Has anyone played Hinge?" Yeah, we played Hinge back in the day. Um, it's actually a pretty cool game now. Like when it launched, it had a lot of jank, basically because they put way too much visual fidelity in the game, and it just wouldn't run smoothly. And there was other jank too, like there was interaction jank. There was just jank everywhere with it. But they patched it and they patched it and they patched it and they patched it, and it's a pretty cool, unique, scary horror game now, that I do recommend. So yeah, if you have time, you should, and you like horror games, you should definitely check it out. Brandon VR says O'Malley tomorrow night, UFC 299. Dude, I'm so looking forward to UFC 299. The card is stacked, literally from the first fight to the last fight.
mm,
Um, Even the chick fights are interesting, and that
really,
you can't say that very often. And it's kind of like saying that you want to go check out a WNBA game. Like it's
I
you
don't
know
know
what I'm
if the
saying.
chicks are hot. Then it's interesting to me, but that's about it. I don't follow too much fighting, but it is good to watch a good fight. The thing I like about UFC is it's real. Like I mean, I don't necessarily want to see somebody's arm get broke or something, but sometimes it happens. You
Yeah,
know,
should have tapped. They don't want to
yeah,
get their
you
arm
should
broke.
have tapped. What were you doing, man?
But no, the card is friggin' stacked tomorrow. O'Malley's getting the chance to avenge his only loss.
Mm.
He is a bit of a clown, but I do like watching him fight. So even though his cringy outfits and pink hair get on my nerves sometimes, um, when he gets in that
Yeah.
cage, he's a sniper. So I'm looking forward to it.
Are we like? I think I'm starting to feel like maybe I should get blue hair or something. Dye my beard blue. I feel like I'm somehow out. No, I'm not going to do that. But I do everywhere I look is like it's just. I feel like I'm the odd man out sometimes. That's okay though.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we were growing up, people who had facial piercings and tattoos and weird colored hair, these were things that would make you a social outcast. Like you couldn't get a job, people didn't want to talk to you, and in just these short, couple of decades, like I
Flip.
can't go. I can't go anywhere now without seeing people with tattoos. I feel like more people have tattoos than not have tattoos
Mm,
now. Like
yeah,
you go to the doctors or go to the hospital, like the doctors have tattoos, the nurses all have tattoos.
all accepted.
Um, yeah, it's just normal thing now.
Just normal now.
So if you want to be different now, if you want to be like stand out, you just don't do anything.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna still not get a tattoo because I just the thought of a needle going in and out of my body thousands of times, putting ink in there, just doesn't sound good. And I've never felt like strongly about something where I'm like I need to, but I respect the fact that people like to do it. I think they're
I got I
cool.
got one. I got one when I was 19.
Yeah, I think they're
Um,
cool. I just don't have feel the need to get one, but I think they're super cool.
yeah, kind of wish I didn't get it now, but
Well, 19, man.
yeah. Yeah, it didn't have any meaning. It's just something I thought looked cool, and then it caught on, and then everyone else had it. So,
mm,
um, yeah.
yeah.
Plus, it don't look great anymore. Like it's a very old tattoo now. It doesn't look like a new tattoo anymore.
Yeah, bummer. Get it touched up.
Probably should,
Freshy.
or just get covered up and put something else back there.
Put I love you, Michelle.
No, I do though, but I'm not. I would
You're
never
not gonna do that.
do that. No. Anyway, that's one down, one to go. Let's talk about an actual VR game, one that is without question a game, um, and is
Game
a
of the year.
sequel. Yeah, it's game of the year. It's a sequel to one of our early Quest favorites, and that game is Swarm 2. This game just launched this week exclusively on MetaQuest platforms, at least for now. And I played it on Quest 3. I assume you played it on Quest Pro. And I enjoyed it, man. Like, it has pretty much everything that I loved about the original Swarm game, but it's not the same game. This is a very different game to the original Swarm game, mainly in how it's structured, right?
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, if you played the original game, you're not going to come into this one not knowing what the hell. As a matter of fact, I knew exactly what to do so much that the tutorial that I normally annoys the fuck out of me annoyed me even more because I'm like, dude, I'm a pro. I'm a crack shot. I know what I'm doing. Good news is it's not too long. But yeah, no, I definitely yeah, and I've so far enjoyed what I've played. I don't agree with Radio One. I don't think it's my game of the year so far, but I am really, I guess my favorite part. Well, we can start here with um, the roguelike element, right? It's
So,
that's
yeah.
new.
So that's the biggest difference in this game versus the original Swarm. And um, there are some other kind of finer details that we'll point out as we go here that are a little bit different. But the biggest glaring difference is the progression. And I know some people are put off that they've seen the promo material for this and um, seen that they use that word roguelike, and certain people are getting sick of it. Certain people don't like
Mm.
roguelikes. I'll say this: When they're talking about roguelike, they're talking specifically about the progression of the game. The levels are not procedurally generated. The levels are written levels. Now they are randomized. Like you don't get the same level at the start every time. The way it kind of works with the way the levels are, um, not like any kind of roguelike progression. Um, it's all about dying and starting over, dying and starting over, and leveling up in between runs. Um, so the way the levels are kind of set up here is you'll have three levels, and those are kind of randomized and shuffled in terms of the level itself, or at least it seemed like it was to me. Um, Now, the enemies that you meet in these levels are the same, even if the level changes. You'll get the same enemies in each one uh, for the most part. You'll play through three of those. You get a bonus level, which doesn't have any enemies in it, which is just a power up level. And then you have boss fight. And then you go on to the next tier, which will give you three new levels to kind of, you know, come to you in a random order. Another bonus level, another boss fight. Lather, rinse, and repeat. I think it does that 4 times. So all in all, you should get about 12 levels in a run and 4 boss fights, 4 bonus levels. Assuming that the pattern holds true all the way through the game. I didn't make it super deep into the game because Ruuts, this fucking game is hard, bro. This is a hard game.
Yeah, and it should be. It's
Right.
it's this type of game. You're gonna die. You're not gonna get too far the first 3 or 4 times. Then because sorry. Anyway, so like it's not only the progression you're making in each run, but you're also getting those shards for in between runs, right? And so you're building your health, you're building just different things. You have ways to revive yourself when you die in the run, and those are the big points. And so you're going to spend a lot of time getting stronger just to get further in the run. So it is kind of intriguing to see how long it is, or how far you'll be able to go and how it will change. Because I didn't make it
Yeah.
past the first boss, so
That first boss is a bitch, isn't it? It's like a giant, like transformer or something. It's just like crazy.
it's cool.
Um,
It's cool. The only thing, my biggest thing, that's, and I guess we did something I like, something I don't like. I don't like that portal thing, man. Like, why is it even there? Like, let me in the fucking thing and then move me to the next thing. I just, every time she says move to the portal, I'm like, you man, like, why am I searching for this portal now? I guess there's other reasons. You could still be, you're choosing to maybe stick around to grab shards that have, you know
or,
what I mean? Because there's still stuff going on, still
or-
enemies to kill. So maybe
right,
there's a
that's it.
reason for that. To me, it's kind of annoying. Just one extra thing is maybe it's just her
Yeah.
voice. Something.
Yeah, it's giving you the option to clear the level or get out a little early. Basically, is what that thing's all about. Um, didn't really bother me. Typically, I would just use that zip feature to zip right
Yeah,
into
just
it.
zip right there. It's just so easy
Yeah.
to get to it. But I guess just talking through it, it's not that annoying. Um, but I did find it was fun. I'm torn because I kind of feel like for me, I kind of like the structure of the first one, the arcade feel. You play this level and you keep beating it. It's fucking hard to get to the next level, and this is just a different structure. I'll just have to play it more and to see if I enjoy it more than the first one. But if I had to choose between the two, which one I enjoy the most, I'd say the first one, just because I like that structure better. Um, but I haven't put that much time into it, which is kind of ironic because typically I want more. I guess a little bit more meat to it, but I guess that tells you that even the way the first game was structured, there was still
Yeah,
progression. It's just
yeah,
different.
yeah. It's just structured different, right? Like here, it's classic road-like production or progression. So you're gathering shards as you kill the enemies and make your way through the game. You use those shards to buy power ups after you die so that you're stronger for the next run. There's also perks that you get during your run. So every time you beat a level, it pops up three different perks. You get to pick one to kind of build your loadout as you go through the game. So again, a very familiar structure to a lot of other recent VR games. This is kind of this is the kind of thing that developers are doing now to um, really expand that play time out, right? So a game that would typically be a, you know, 5, 6, 8 hour game, now it's taking you 12, 15 hours to get through just because of all the repetitions that you have to do. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of like you. I'm not sure which structure that I prefer at this point.
But
I
they're both
do
fun.
right, exactly. I do kind of enjoy playing for progression in terms of like level progression more than character progression. Like I like there to be a set levels and a set campaign that everyone plays through, and it's always the same, and there's no kind of luck of the draw to it, like there is with the roguelike. But again, on the other hand, I do enjoy building towards something, and I enjoy a challenge, and that's kind of what the new version of the game gives you.
Did it feel like the movement was a little different to you? I felt like,
Definitely.
yeah, it felt like you had to use your joystick, your left thumbstick a lot more
Yep.
for momentum, and I felt
Yes.
like I didn't enjoy the movement as much. Like I used to be able to like really whip myself, my arms a certain way to make myself really fling around, and maybe I just need to get used to this new movement style with the thumbstick.
Yeah, see, because that's what I thought too. I thought that you can't really get the same kind of momentum by pumping up the tension in the strands like you did before. And that you had to use that boost with the left stick to really get your momentum up. That's the way I played it. But after I played it, I went and watched a tutorial from the developers about how to play. Um, and they said absolutely you pump the you pump your arms to get the tension in the thing, and then you can really whip yourself. But I think that in this version of the game it's a bit more precise how you're supposed to do it. So
Mm,
the cables themselves um, have color strands going through them, and when you pump your arms to get that tension up, the color changes. And I think that you have to release when it's like yellow, and not only when it's yellow but when you're at a certain point in your swing to really get the momentum up. So um, I think that the movement system's a bit more precise and refined here,
okay.
um, and I think it with some practice that you probably have better control and stuff like that. But I'm still trying to play the original Swarm, and like you, it just felt like I couldn't really get going in this game. Whereas the first one, I can just fly through it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know that I was gonna say Takedown says Swarm 2 has the classic arcade mode as well. Um and the free roam mode and challenge mode. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even try any of the other gameplay modes. I just tried like the default roguelite mode. So yeah, maybe the arcade mode. See, I like having the story campaign too, right? Though, like where you go through the levels and get little bits of story as you progress. I'm not sure if that's present in the arcade mode, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Either way, well, it's an extra mode, another way to play. It's the way I like. I don't know, I just like going, it just makes I like that arcade feel. It's exactly what I told Radio Run earlier. That I loved about Swarm 1 is that it just felt more like an arcade game, right? So it's awesome that that's in there. And then I did notice, so this is why I think that thumbstick is in there, is you can actually control, like even when you're flying in the air, you can
Yeah,
control sometimes, and it's all that's why I say I'm torn, because like the first one I didn't feel like I needed to get the shards. Like this one I do. And so like that does add an extra element an aspect of something that I did kind of enjoy in a sense is like, okay, I even got to a point where I was flying or swinging through areas just getting a bunch of shards, and I was like, yeah, I was like trying to um maximize it, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'm dying a lot more than I should because I'm focusing so much on getting those shards. And I'm not good enough at the movement yet where I can
Mm,
just fly into a bunch of them and pick them up. It takes effort for me to get the shards. And it seems like almost every time that I die, I'm focusing on getting to a group of shards and I'm getting shot in the back by some laser asshole or a missile or something.
yeah. Well, and that's one thing that carried from the first one. This fucking game is hard, but this is how you want it to be, like an arcade game today or back in the day. They're not easy. Like they're supposed to be hard. Um, so I did find all the zipping around, and I mean it has everything that the first one has, and I think you're right. Once you nail the movement of this one, it'll probably be even better than the first ones. It's just getting used to it, right? So
Right, right. And the first one took some getting used to too. And I will say this: I played it seated. Um, I don't think I played the first one seated. I think I chose to play it standing up, just because it was so fast and the movement's so quick in it. Like if you're stick turning and stuff, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage.
right,
Probably should stand up and play this one.
that's
But
what I was doing. It's good.
I mean, there are things I like better about it. I do like the progression. I like the arenas. I thought the arenas seem a bit more expansive and a bit more complex. Just like the first game, there's a good enemy variety from the very beginning. Um, I mean, they don't look very different, but they're very different in what they do. So, like, even like the first couple of levels, you'll go through 4 and 5 enemy types just to beat one of the early levels. And then, of course, as you progress and as you get further in, you get bigger enemies with different types of offense and different types of shield that you have to break through, weak points for you to attack. It has so much about what we loved about the original Swarm. Um, that I kind of put it on an equal level with that. I can't really say that it's better or worse at this point. It's just more. It's more and it's different.
Mm.
And I might end up liking it more. I might end up liking it less. But here's the good news: is that I love the original Swarm, and I'm loving this game too. Like this is super fun.
Right. If you love the first one, you're gonna love this one. If you didn't like the first one, you could potentially like this one, depending on what you didn't like about it. I know Alien Care didn't care for it. Philozic said I couldn't really get into the first game. It's fair, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing like flinging yourself up in the air and coming down and just taking out all these enemies. Um, I think there's really not a game that feels like this out there. So definitely amazing game. I recommend. I would say pick it up for sure.
Yeah, 100%, 100% recommend. I will say this: like I want to get better at it because I felt what you're talking about, throwing yourself up in the air and coming down on enemies. I felt like that was something I was doing more in the first game
The
than this one.
original,
Like
yeah,
this one, I'm just trying to control it. And in the first one, I was making very precise movements and really throwing myself miles up into the air and falling straight down on these things' heads. And I'm just not that good at this one yet. I think I'll get there, but I think it's going to take some time and practice.
Radio Run says Swarm 2 Quest game of 2020 of the year 2024, and Green Sky Games says I agree.
Um, so Quest game of the year, yeah, I might would say that.
Why is this
You're
not
talking.
on PC, by the way? I was like all excited to go to like
I'm
PC
sure
and
it's
play
going.
it,
I'm
and I
sure
was
it'll
like,
come.
I got a
I'm sure it's.
4090. I want to play everything on it.
I'm sure it's going to come to PC. The first one, the original one, ended up coming to PC eventually. My big question is this game going to come, or are either of the Swarm games going to come to PlayStation VR 2? Because I know for a fact that the PSVR community has wanted to play Swarm for a while, and it never made its way over there. So
That's crazy.
with Green Sky Games in the chat. So if you guys want to volunteer some information about upcoming
Hopefully.
platforms, we would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, because that's a whole big community that's just chomping at the bit to play both of them. Wouldn't it be cool if they had like a pack, right? Swarm 1 and Swarm 2. You know,
Yeah, Swarm One remastered. Like they have, like when these games come to PSVR 2, they always rename them, right? They give them a few more features, and then they rename them. So I wonder what a good name for Swarm would be.
what did you think about the fact, and maybe you didn't find out, but I found out pretty quick. And I'm just bouncing. You don't die to the water, at least not
Uh,
initially. I mean, I bounced off it
it,
several times and didn't die.
later in the game, there's like lava and stuff that you can fall in that will hurt you. I don't know if it just auto kills you like it used to.
I just thought it was
Um,
cool. There's enough fucking shit trying to kill me. You know what I mean? Like I bounced off the water and I was like, "Oh, cool." Because I, you know what I mean? Like it's not there's just so much going on already.
Okay, so Green Sky Game says I'm just the community manager, but you can bother our devs about it in Discord. Okay, thank you, Ben. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Um, yeah, so everyone go tag. I think his name's Joe, and ask Joe when he's going to bring this to PC and PlayStation in
Yeah,
the
for
Green
sure.
Sky Discord.
And if
Um,
you, I mean, does this game not kind of remind you of Space Invaders, like Spider-Man with Space Invader vibes? Like
yeah,
it's
kind
cool,
of like the original like pack enemies, the swarms, where the
right?
original game got its name. Remind you of kind of like Galaga, where they come through and they fly in a pattern, a certain line, and I really wish there were more of that. Like the first game had a lot more of those types of enemies in them, and I think just blasting through those big swarms of enemies is one of my favorite parts of the game. It just feels good.
Yeah.
Um, I
Did you
found it
play?
fun in the
I was gonna,
sequel to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if you had played Extreme.
No, hell no. I played normal and it kicked my ass. I thought about taking it down the easy routes. Like I
Wow,
found this game to be that challenging that I thought about going to easy, which is something I never do.
never.
Um, but I didn't. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I kept telling myself, "Get good, bro. Just get good." Um,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I need to get good. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, but
Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Um, But no, this is one we're definitely going to play a lot more of because it does have so many of the elements that I love from the first game in it, and potential to be even better. Assuming that I can really get the finer points of the movement down. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun in this one and enjoy the kind of um, the one thing that this has that the first game really doesn't have is all of the abilities and weapons and different types of things. These perks and buffs are really going to add um, some nuance to the gameplay
mm,
that wasn't there before. Um, but in order for me to really enjoy that, I'm going to have to be able to beat these bosses, and haven't been able to do that yet.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. And maybe you'll just get super good at the movement because I think at some point, it's just getting used to the new stuff. So
What do you think about how this one looked, Roots? It looked very similar to the first one, um, but maybe even a little bit cleaner, a little bit more detailed. The art style is damn near dead on with the first one, but I did feel like it was a little bit more refined, a little bit more detail to it. What did you think?
I think it looked beautiful. I think it was. I love this art style, and I mean, it's not really anything that I could say negative about this. One thing I was gonna say too is like like you said, these perks. Every time you die, you're unlocking your permanent stuff with your shards, but you're unlocking new perks as well. like it seemed like there was constantly new different guns come unlocking or different
Yeah.
things that you could get in your run, and I think that's really cool. And I don't know how deep it goes, but I think the more that they have, the better. And so, like literally, it was every single time I had to restart, there was two or three things unlocking, and I thought that was really cool as well.
Yeah. So what Roots is talking about here, as we mentioned before, as you make your way through your run, in between levels, you get to pick a perk so that you're constantly building your loadout as you make your way through your run. But whenever you die and you're into your run, um, I guess the game is probably tallying experience points or something for you in the background because you unlock new perks. And it isn't perks that you get per se, but it's unlocking new perks that you can get randomly in your next run. And that happens quite a lot. Like a lot of the time, you'll get two, three, four of those
Mm-hmm.
in between runs, and it makes a pretty immediate impact on your next run. Even if you die super fast and don't really get to buy too many upgrades, it still kind of makes it worth going into that next run because you're going to have new perks in between the levels to build up with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna type it in the chat, but I'm not. I'm not gonna do gamer tag dirty. What's up, GT? GT's in the house.
What's up, GT? Good morning, sir. Must be getting ready to go to the gym.
Yeah, he says he'll be here in a minute. The ads go on forever. He can't even hear me right now. He's watching an ad. GT, you need to be in here. What are you doing?
Ads? What ads? We don't have mid-roll ads, bro. You shouldn't be getting an ad.
That's weird, man. I think YouTube's getting greedy. Come on. Come on, man.
Come
Come
on,
on,
man.
man. So we talked about the. Damn it! There was something else I was going to bring up. GT sidetracked me and I forgot it.
GT.
It's all your fault, bro.
Yeah,
Fuck, I don't remember what it is anymore. Oh well, it must not have been that important.
let's go
Um,
back, maybe.
Anyway, I think the bottom line here is Swarm One was a favorite of ours that we wholeheartedly recommended. I think Swarm 2 in this generation is going to be a favorite of ours that we wholeheartedly recommend too. This is going to be another channel favorite, just like the first one. And if only we could get our Crashland 2 now, Roots, we'd be set.
Oh, man. Crashland 2. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a good year of our channel that all we did was rave about Swarm and Crashland every week.
Yeah. Well, they're both games that are amazing. And, the one of the things that's cool about this game is they didn't just redo the same game. They actually gave you what you loved about the first game, and they changed it. And that's cool as well.
Right.
So.
Right. It's not just DLC, right? DLC in disguise, like the award we gave out last year. It's not DLC in disguise. It's actually a proper sequel.
Yeah, this is definitely not DLC. This is a new game, which is cool. That's what you want to see, right? So.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, if you'd like to pick up Swarm 2, you can find a link in the description below to get 25% off. You'll also be supporting the channel as it will add store credit into the Virtual Strangers account, which we use for various things like picking up some of the bigger, more AAA titles, as well as giveaway keys, which is what most of it goes for, actually, is to buy giveaway keys for others. So be sure to check it out. If you haven't already, you're going to want to pick it up. It's super fun.
Oh, man, this person is a crack shot at those fucking flinging themselves up. I'm trying to watch less. I'm trying to get the lowdown on how to do it in this game.
Oh, I have a question for Ben. Ben, if you're still in the chat, I have a question for you. So I'm looking at these at the leaderboard, right? And I'm seeing a lot of super high scores. People well up over 1 million points already. The game just came out. And it makes me wonder, I can't help but wonder, are these people who had the game pre-launch? And if that's the case, when are they going to reset the leaderboards? Because that's not quite fair, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Um, people who had the game early have had a bit of unfair disadvantage or unfair advantage over people who are just now getting it. So if they haven't reset those leaderboards, they need to do it. Maybe they're just that good. Maybe VR Realm or VR Grid is really just the Mac Daddy of Swarm.
Well,
But I'm
it's
not buying it.
possible because there's some people, say you were a leaderboard chaser in the first one and you were like just expert. Maybe you came into this game and you just crushed it, right? Like in,
Possible.
yeah.
It is possible. Anyway, I won't go into that too much, but if they haven't reset the leaderboards on launch, they need to do it ASAP. Um, all right, man. I think that's all we've got here for the show, unless I'm just forgetting something. I think we only did 2 games this week, Roots. Like, it's only 2 games, but it's 2 more games than we did for the last 3 months. So I think
It's a
good.
good start. It's like getting our foot back in the door. And it's an hour and 10 minutes. So we one of the shortest videos. And I guess I did see Dee come in. She said she passed out early, saying hello and passed. She's going back to bed. And I'm saying this because she told me to have you send the thumbnail for tonight's thing to her. So
Yeah, shout out to D, by the way. D wholeheartedly responsible for getting these episodes up on the audio platforms.
quick.
Um,
So you'll have it
yeah,
the same day. Like she ain't fucking around like Ruuts was. I was
yeah,
like, man, this is like, I don't know what happened. I could never download it the same day. YouTube must have updated something. Because if it was live and I tried to download it the same day, it wouldn't let me. So
yeah.
it
That
was
is a
weird.
bit different. But shout out to D for that. Shout out to Spry Guy for always coming through with the timestamps.
Hell yeah.
You all help out by doing
Tremendously.
things that we would never do,
Yeah.
right?
I tried
Because
and
we
it just
tried,
was too much. I just did.
right?
I don't know.
So Green Sky Games in the chat says, I think the leaderboards got reset when it went live. People are just real good. Like they must
Yeah.
be. I'm like number 250 in the world right now,
Damn.
and that just doesn't sit right with me, Roots. Like
I had
I gotta do something about
250 in
that.
the world. I'll be happy with 250 in the world. I'm sure I'm not even that close, but I'm not crack shot. So so it's $20?
It's this got to be a $30 game. There's no way this game's
I
$20.
think you
Hold
might be
on.
talking about System Critical too.
Oh yeah, System Critical 2. That is $20. I think this one's 30, and
No, it's worth every
it
penny.
should be. If it's not 30, it should be. Give me just a moment, and I'll verify the price. Browse all games.
How do you not like this game? I guess there's some people that they say
There's some
have no
people that don't.
soul. I don't say they don't have a soul, but some people.
Some people just don't like our arcade style gameplay, man.
That's
It's
true.
25. It's $25.
25. Damn.
Yeah,
Well, there you
that's
go.
pretty. That's incredible.
It is.
So definite recommend at 25. It's already got 141 ratings, 4.9 out of 5 stars. Incredible. Great. Oh wait,
Yeah.
there's a DLC roadmap. Hold on. Year 1 roadmap. We're thrilled to give you a sneak peek into all the free DLC updates that are coming to Swarm 2 over the next year.
Free.
Free, yeah.
I like free.
March is called Crunchy Comfort because we know it's the little things that matter. We're dedicating our first update to enhancing your gameplay experience with a variety of small but mighty quality of life improvements. So, as is typically the case, the first month you're getting a QOL update. In May, we're getting superhero visuals. So, Quest 3 graphics updates coming to redefine the way you see Swarm 2. So their graphics update and support for 120 hertz for Quest 3 in May. July, we're getting a new game mode. called the Chaos Circuit. Also in July, getting 10 new maps, over 10 new maps for arcade mode, which is pretty awesome. July is also bringing leaderboards for free roam races and more. So a lot happening in July. And then in September, new melee weapon called the Blade of Destiny will change the way that you do zip attacks. And then they say there will
no PlayStation roadmap.
Right.
I want to see PlayStation. I want to see PC. I mean, that's my biggest thing. Because I really would. I did love playing this on and preferred to play it on the PC. And let's be honest, until Quest gives me a fucking Twitch app, I ain't streaming shit off there. You know, like I wish that they would like step into 2024 and give me some features that like people need. Like,
or just fix the audio delay. That comes
that too.
From
yeah,
streaming
that's
the
true.
PC.
That's true.
You know? Brandon VR says got Stormland today. So yeah, Stormland showed back up on the Oculus Store today, Ruuts.
Why did it leave? That's the question.
Well, a lot of people are buying it now. That's probably why it left. Like it left, people mourned its loss, and now that it's back, people are jumping on that shit and buying it.
That's pretty smart.
Which they should. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. I would love to see like an actual legit PSVR 2 version that has a story or a better story and more gameplay, right? That was a good game.
So Gamertag VR joining late says, Wes, I played a game you will love coming soon. Basically what he's saying there, folks, let me read between the lines. He's saying that he played the game that we intended to cover today, Overdark, and that it's good. That it's really good.
Damn it!
I follow you on Twitter, GT. I know the clues. I know what's up. So that's good. That makes me look forward to it. No, not Overdark. Not Overdark. He's talking about Madison. GT played Madison. Yeah. So Overdark we're still waiting on. GT's been playing Madison. He didn't say he's been playing Madison, but I've been watching what Perp Games has been saying, and I've been watching what GT's been saying on Twitter, and 2 + 2 is 4 Ruuts, and 4 is another word for Madison.
It's not Monday, though. Oh, that's me. I only go to Twitter on Monday afternoon. I literally ignore Twitter except for one day a week. And I shouldn't, because I think Twitter's probably the best platform out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is right now, for sure.
I just don't go to any of those things.
Gabriel 004 says something scared him, right? Yeah, something scared him. That's right. So he said that Ruuts, he said he played the scariest VR game ever.
For real? Oh, wow. That's going to make you feel good.
And he did that at the same time that Perp Games was talking about how Madison would be coming to some of your favorite VR content creators soon.
Oh, my God. Well,
again, 2 + 2 is 4.
Wait, you're not one of the favorites?
Well, there's a story behind that. There's a story behind that.
Detective Wes. He is Detective Wes.
That's right.
You ain't getting anything past him, bro.
Inspector Gadget. Hey, you know who loves it when you Inspector Gadget?
My mom.
Oh yeah, she does. A little too much, actually.
Yeah, she really does. Not Overdark. Yeah, Overdark has been delayed. I said the wrong thing, GT. I knew what I was saying in my mind, but my mouth just wasn't cooperating.
That's all right though. He's getting the second part. He's probably hearing about Madison right now.
You're right. All right. I think that's our show, folks. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, click the bell. We're going to be back in 2 days' time with some VR news. And will Mash be with us? Maybe not. I think, is Mash still on this channel?
Yeah, He wants to be. He was going to try to be here tonight, but no, I think I don't know if he's still going to be out of town or not.
Yeah,
On
so
Sunday.
maybe Mash will be back Sunday. If not, it'll be me and Ruuts. We will be here with bells on, ready to bring you the latest in VR news. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Virtual Strangers Discord. You'll find a invitation in the description down below. 100% free. We're there 24/7, 365 for you to talk to you about VR games or fights or just whatever. No religion, no politics. Well,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit, not a lot.
We tried that and it doesn't work very well. People get weird these days, Wes. Samson 143. Oh, I guess Samson VR. I'm not gonna say 143. $1.99 super chat says great show.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for the donation. Very much appreciated. You're gonna buy me a new set of headphones because these ones are falling apart. Roots. I had to glue both of these ear cups back on now because they came off.
Really?
Sad.
Well, the good news is the technology is amazing, and so now you're going to get a fresh pair of amazing headphones, and sometimes good things happen when bad things happen. Actually, most times.
So we're going to get new stuff thanks to people like Samson, thanks to people like Bluebell, thanks to our patrons out there. Shout out to all the patrons. You guys are the salt of the earth, and you make things much easier and much better for us, and we appreciate and love you for it.
Gamertag says, "Oh, you can like the super chats. Yeah, you can like everything, GT. What's amazing to me? You text somebody now, and they like it. You're like, are you fucking kidding me? There's people are liking my texts now, Wes. I gotta get dopamine everywhere.
Yeah, you can like anything you want, but you're not allowed to dislike anything.
No disliking at all.
Anyway, I'm going to go play some Swarm 2 now because I'm not tired anymore, Roots. I'm up now. And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you in 2 days. Bye.
Take it easy.